I'm like the proud mother. Yes. Do you see my smile? Geez, yes, we see that beautiful smile. Model Kim Porter stepped out in Lowe's Angels on Monday night to support her son Quincy Brown. Good. When it all happened, I was filming away. So, I'm like the rock of the family, especially when it comes to, times where it's like family is really needed, and now I think I'm back. That the night before Kim Porter passed that she group texted some close friends saying that he got me, and that Kim also insinuated in that text that she felt like she had been poisoned. All right, y'all. I've got a major update for all of you who were disappointed that 50 Cent's Diddy documentary didn't talk about Kim Porter's suspicious death. Turns out Kim's firstborn son, Quincy Brown, is allegedly linking up with 50 for a brand new documentary about Kim. Now, people were definitely side-eyeing Quincy for a minute, mostly because he was at Diddy's trial every single day, so it looked like he was supporting him. But on the other hand, Quincy never publicly defended Diddy or started lashing out as Christian did. Also, unlike Christian and Justin, who have both been named in lawsuits over Diddy-ike accusations, not a single person has ever accused Quincy of anything. So that alone sets Quincy apart from Diddy's biological son. And now some reports are claiming that Quincy might have been playing the long game all along, keeping a close eye on things to protect his sisters. Basically, he had to be there making sure they were okay before Diddy went behind bars. I don't mean to be the super big brother dad, but this is nuts. I might record the whole ride. I might run out of storage. Oh, you need that. And then what you forget? My license, man. What do you need to drive? Music. But now that Diddy is locked up, Quincy is reportedly determined to dig into all those rumors that Diddy had something to do with Kim's death. And let's not forget that 50 Cent factor. If he's really helping Quincy, this new doc on Kim could be even bigger than The Reckoning. Having an enemy that has a position of influence in your child's life, and knowing that that person sends you notes and messages every now and then. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, that boy is dead. Now, Quincy has always stood out among Diddy's boys, even though Diddy practically raised him. And if you remember, when Homeland Security raided Diddy's properties last year, Christian and Justin were there and both ended up getting handcuffed. But Quincy and the twins were MIA. And back then, Jaguar Wright even alleged that Quincy was low-key working with the feds. Yeah, and Quincy's missing. Oh, and lastly, after he was questioned by the feds after I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection. Right. Now, I don't know about the part about Quincy being in witness protection. Seems like Jaguar was reaching with that one because we saw Quincy attend Diddy's trial with the rest of the family. But there are now reports circulating that Quincy only stayed close to Diddy to protect his sisters because he worried for their safety, and he promised Kim he would look out for them. Now Quincy has mostly stayed silent about the rumors surrounding his mom's passing. But now insiders are saying he was planning behind the scenes, knowing he couldn't publicly go against Diddy until the timing was right. Well, looks like that moment might finally be here. Quincy is allegedly putting together a full-length documentary diving deep into his mom's life and the mysterious circumstances surrounding her death. And with all the history, the drama, and 50 Cent reportedly in the mix, people are already hyped that this project could drop some major revelations. And if you're familiar with the official story, you already know it never quite added up. On November 15, 2018, Kim was found unresponsive in her LA home. A family member discovered her in bed, and by the time paramedics arrived, it was too late. Kim was pronounced dead at just 47 years old. A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home, where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Camera Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house. 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911. EMS 14 respond with engine 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest. Kim's autopsy report listed lobar pneumonia as the cause of death, and the LA County Medical Examiner coroner officially ruled it natural. But when you look closer at the days leading up to her passing, things start to feel off. Kim reportedly first complained of a sore throat on November 7th, and by November 12th, she had developed a fever. That short timeline combined with what happened next has left a lot of people questioning the official story. Apparently, allegedly, Kim tested negative for both the flu and strep throat, and she was treated with antibiotics, vitamins, and pain meds. And her family later said that by November 14th, she was feeling fine again, and her temperature had returned to normal. In fact, she even had a massage the night before she was found dead. And honestly, that part always seemed a little sketchy. If Kim was really sick with pneumonia symptoms, why would she invite someone else into her house? And it's also weird that we never found out who this person was that came over to give her a massage. We know that Kim, and it's in the doc. This is in the documentation. Shout out the paperwork. He looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? And do we know whether she used that baby oil or not for that massage? It makes you say, H on top of that, the coroner's report confirmed that Kim had no history of substance or alcohol use and no underlying health problems. By all accounts, she seemed to be in perfect health, which just makes everything about her passing feel even more confusing and suspicious. And one of the first people to publicly question the official story was Kim's ex and Quincy's biological dad, Al Shore. Al said he saw Kim shortly before she passed, and according to him, she never mentioned any health issues. For years, Al wrestled with the idea that her death might not have been natural, and eventually, he decided it was time to speak out. In July 2020, Al shared an old video of himself crying and added a caption. I just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. And then Al wrote this. I know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. Really? This is where I get in trouble. We just celebrated our son Quincy's New Deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well. Laughing seeing me and Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it here. But Al didn't stop there. He also added the hashtag Don't Let the Love Songs Fool You, seemingly alluding to Diddy's public tributes to Kim. And while Al eventually deleted this post, saying that Quincy reached out to him and told him it was triggering, he later doubled down on his claims about Kim's death and said he stands firm in his belief that the official story just doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, fans started speculating that Diddy might have told Quincy to reach out to Al and get him to take down the post, pointing to past claims that Diddy had tried to turn Quincy against his biological dad. But Al didn't back down. He kept speaking out. And in November 2021, he shared a throwback photo of himself with Kim and Quincy, writing in the caption, "She sent me this saying, life imitating art. Art imitating life. Now it all makes sense. She told me other stuff too. She was running. I said, call the FBI. And then he added in the comments, you would never believe what she went through. But here is where it starts to get really sinister. Just a few months after that post, Al was rushed to the hospital for a medical emergency that was never fully explained. He later explained he had suddenly collapsed while working in the studio, and doctors were reportedly shocked because they couldn't figure out why he suddenly had so many serious health issues at once. Al ended up spending 2 months in a coma, and when he eventually came out of it, he revealed he had gone through multiple medical procedures, including an organ transplant, numerous blood transfusions, intubation, and being placed on a ventilator. Naturally, all of this set off major alarm bells, and fans immediately started connecting dots, especially since people began pointing out that several individuals linked to Diddy's circle had gotten seriously sick or passed from pneumonia over the years. From Heb to Brittany Murphy and even Whitney Houston's daughter, Bobby Christina. In fact, Bobby Christina's autopsy report stated that she died of lobar pneumonia, the same exact condition Kim Porter allegedly had. Now, going back to Al Shore, even after nearly losing his life, Al didn't stop speaking out. He kept posting, dropping hints, and equally fueling rumors that Diddy was somehow connected to both Kim's passing and his own medical emergency. And then earlier this year, mainstream media finally decided to give him a platform. And Al sat down for an interview with Fox 5 New York to talk about his memoir, Do You Believe Me Now? And that's when things really escalated. During the interview, Al made some heavy accusations, claiming he never believed Kim's death was natural, and suggested that Diddy was tied to both her passing and his near-death experience. In fact, Al said he's 100% convinced that Diddy tried to have him taken out in 2022, right after he started speaking publicly about Kim's death. You were in that coma in 2022. You had the liver transplant. You had the tracheotomy. I mean, all that stuff that went on, multi-system organ failure. Have they figured out what happened yet? We will. No, I mean have the doctors medically like what happened to you. Yeah. What? So because you just collapsed, right? Yeah. So, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book. Yeah. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff. So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure? I believe this to be the case. Yes, absolutely. Wow, my first time seeing it. And then once again made it clear that he doesn't believe Kim died from pneumonia. And he even hinted there's a lot more he plans to reveal in the future. Basically, do you believe that she died of pneumonia? Absolutely not. Why? What evidence do you have? She was in the best of health. We just saw each other up prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's a new Netflix, a Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean and she's in the back going, stop. There's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And the only reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration? Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up and I'm the only one left alive. So this is not about a scared thing, It's just time to reveal the truth. I mean, it is what it is. I went through many, many years of scrutiny and being dragged face first on the concrete. Being called delusional and things of that nature. Now, it's still unclear whether Albshore and Quincy have fully patched things up, or if Al is actually joining the rumored project about Kim Porter's death. But honestly, we really hope he does. After all, Al was the first and honestly the only major industry figure to publicly call for an investigation into Kim's passing. And his voice could be huge for getting answers. So, we're all hoping Kim finally gets the justice she deserves, especially when you look at what 50 Cent revealed about the Tupac and Biggie situations. It's clear that Diddy had a history of controlling the people around him, and Kim was no exception. Diddy controlled her every move during their relationship and was putting his hands on her even before Cassie came into the picture. Diddy has proven time and time again that when he wants control, there's almost nothing he won't do to get his way. Well, now I want to hear from you. Do you think Kim's case needs to be reopened? And what are your thoughts on Quincy and his relationship with Diddy? Drop all your opinions in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.